What is happening with Tesla stock? It's been a volatile past week, and there's a lot of chatter from investors on what it's going to do in the short term, and then looking ahead to the long term. And then we're going to talk about Elon Musk's big bet with Tesla. So, just in the past week, it was announced that Tesla delivers a massive beat of over 497,000 deliveries, and this was compared to the expected number of 443,000. And so that was a massive beat for Tesla in the last week. And despite that massive beat, there was some selling off to do. Earlier in the week, the stock got up to $470. Now it's down, currently sitting at $429. And I was looking at my tool that I created, Investor Waves, which we track 50 plus of the top investing podcast and YouTube channels, and we scan them, pass them through AI, and extract all of the trade ideas and stock commentary and aggregate them. And so I was looking through, what are people saying about Tesla, and it's kind of mixed at the moment. Of course, they did have the big beat, but some people are saying there's some concerns about sales in the U.S. going forward and internationally, especially in the European market and China. Sales are still flat. But, overall, I think it's got a lot going for it long term, and I'll get more into that as we talk more about it. But I did see this interesting post from Dan here on Twitter, who owns a family office where Tesla is now over 40% of his liquid portfolio. And he was talking about how in the short term, there could be some volatility, maybe some decrease in the stock price, but he's very bullish on where it looks like long term with the potential of the real world AI use cases, namely humanoid robots, and where the stock could look like with their 12-month trailing revenue multiple. So currently, with the stock price at $430 and the revenue is at almost $93 billion, and the valuation is about 1.5 trillion. I calculated that multiple was about 15. And I've seen some discussion about this on Twitter, and anything over 20x is going to be considered overpriced. 13 to 20x is going to be expensive, so that's currently in the expensive range. And anything under that, you're looking at fair prices for the stock. But like Dan was saying in this post, and you can go read it, in a world where Tesla, is successful with their humanoid robot project, that 20x multiple that used to be maybe considered very expensive for the stock could be undervalued. And that's in the long term, right? So that's something to think about. And Tesla might face a lot of short-term volatility before they can achieve that, right? Because in the last year, their Optimus division hasn't really gone the way they've wanted it to. They're currently competing with Figure AI, who is one of the leading names in this. And they're at 39 billion valuation. They're raising money at that. I don't believe they're a public company. And Tesla really hasn't got the traction they've wanted on their Optimus division. They had the lead of Optimus AI actually depart the company, and I believe he might be working at Meta now. And Elon Musk is kind of taking matters into his own hands now, and he's going to be getting his hands dirty and focusing more on this and in Tesla. I think he just bought $1 billion worth of stock, and I really think about this race for humanoid robots and how big it is for the future of this company, and it makes me think about the other competitions in the stock market. So we've got the humanoid robots, that's one. We've got the LLM chatbots, AI generally, OpenAI, NVIDIA, Claude, that kind of division. And then we've got the other three-headed monster, Meta and Apple, competing for what's going to come after the iPhone, right? With the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, Apple Vision Pro. So I think that's really going to be the narration of the stock market over the next few years, as it has been in the past. But Tesla, in the short term, they have a lot going on. There's a lot to look forward to. And they did deliver the Q3 beat on vehicles. But, to beat the vehicle estimation in Q4, they're going to need to deliver 580,000 vehicles. And so if you look at this Twitter thread, there's some people, optimistic about achieving that number, but there's also some people saying it's going to be extremely difficult, and it would take all factories at max capacity and capability to produce those numbers. So in the short term, that could cause some blimps in the stock. So I think you really need to develop a thesis and a belief in what Elon can do with AI going forward. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And we're going to keep on working on Investor Waves. If you want to check it out, I'll link it in the description. And it will automatically pull from all these top investing experts about what they're saying about specific stocks. So you can go check that out. I'll link it down below, and let me know what you think about Tesla.